Hello, I'm Lowell Martin, and this is MCC Today. Please watch, they'll hurt me if you don't. On today's show, we have Terrell Taylor, Reginald Davies, and Aisha Robertson. It's going to be a really good show. You're going to learn a lot. Do not touch that dial.
Not essential. Never let anyone tell you that again. Never doubt your abilities to make a difference. How do I know this about you? Because I'm a teacher. I am the one who will push you harder and farther than you could have ever imagined. Teach you things that you never thought possible. And if you will give me 100%, then I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and together we will change your future. MCC, find your wings.
And we have the wonderful Miss Terrell Taylor. How are you doing?
Oh, I guess I'm doing all right.
You have now. We've talked about this for a while, and you were talking about how nervous you are. This is just a really good conversation. Now, you're a fine arts instructor here at Meridian Community College, and how long have you been doing that here?
Oh gosh,
Been a while.
about 17
Oh, my.
years. It's almost 18.
Oh my!
So yeah.
But I
Here we
wanted to
are.
get you on the show to talk about the fine arts. Okay, and what kind of stuff do you do in your class, or do you have your students do in your class?
Well, I teach a variety of classes.
Okay.
Design and art appreciation is the mainstay. In the
Okay.
past, I've done some photography classes. We're moving on from that because it was darkroom photography, which is kind of sad because, you know, the darkroom photography thing is really historic now.
It is.
Super historic now. And so it's kind of sad to see that go. But all this new stuff, you know, is out there to do. But the art appreciation is the mainstay. And most students who are coming to school here, they are either going into the graphics program, which is a 2-year program.
Okay.
And so they have to have these basics in terms of drawing, design, basic understanding of art history to do the graphic program correctly. But we got a great graphic program here.
We do.
We really do. And then we also have university transfer classes. So anybody who really wants to pursue the fine arts, they can take 2D design, design 1 and 2, 2D design, 3D design, and painting. So we have these courses that are university transfer. Mainstay university transfer course is the art appreciation course.
So what do you try to do, or what do you want to accomplish in your art appreciation class? What's your hope?
Hope. It's not a hope. I will do it. I deliver. You know, first of all, the thing is, most students who have never been to a museum before in their life, or have never really had an opportunity to make a painting or make a drawing, or really like seriously think about art as an intellectual pursuit. That's what I try to get across in my classes. It's not therapy. You know, people who devote themselves to art are all in, and they are not one-sided. You know, like a lot of people think that it's just about fun and games and therapy or something. But it's really an intellectual pursuit. There's lots of scientists. There's lots of architects. I mean, if you think about these people who are heavy hitters, if you look into their past, they also do art.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Is, you know, so often nowadays in education, you know, K through 12, they want to focus on the maths, the sciences, but some things get pushed to the wayside. And a lot of times it is the arts that get pushed to the wayside. Why do you think it is important that we keep the arts in the curriculum?
Well, I'm a product of that exact thing. I have a master's degree in anthropology. I mean, I got really interested in science and I was always an artist, like, you know, from the time I was 12 or 13, I knew I wanted to be an artist. But I got off into anthropology and got interested in science, and I realized that without art, you cannot describe the human being. Without art, we would not be who we are. Without being able to read and write, being able to make a symbol that somebody else can read. If you look at all the sciences, they all are traced back to art. Being able to symbolize and talk about something that's more than what you see there. Okay, so for example, modern medicine, it would not be here without Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, the basis of Gray's Anatomy, Leonardo da Vinci. If you trace it back, you know, he's the first person who like cut into a cadaver and opened it up and said, oh, this is how it works.
And if you see some of those, he was so detailed in them, amazing detail, that it's almost like you would get from a photograph.
Absolutely. And it was all done through perception, and it was all done through artistic thinking, using your mind to slow down and really look at something carefully.
I think so often, you know, we get we want to give the students the facts and the figures but then we don't teach them to put things together. And I think that's what art does in many cases, is it
the whole.
Yes. And let's try it this way, or let's do this.
Many times whenever you set up a still life to teach students how to draw, they want to try to draw everything. And it's like, no, focus in, get closer, you know, identify the thing you're really trying to say, you know, and it's thinking. It's not just skill, it's how to think. How, you know, it's problem solving. Here's the problem. How do you solve it? You break the problem down into smaller bits. You identify the techniques that you need for each one of those bits. It's like, it's the scientific method.
Now, do you see yourself as primarily a you know, where you draw, you sketch, and I don't want to like pigeonhole you in anything, because I know
it's okay.
There's so much that you do.
Yeah.
But what do you when you think about it and you think of yourself as an artist, what do you think?
Of myself? I'm a mixed media artist, always. From the very get-go, I've always like taken lots of different things and brought them together to create something new. And you know, and that's really common now, but a few years ago it was not.
It was not.
Yeah, and it's great because I know a lot of technical skills, and I don't get to use them very much, you know, because of what I'm doing right now. But when I do, I have a lot of fun.
Now we are almost out of time, but you have a couple of things I'd like for you to show the audience. Just if we could get a couple of them, and these were done by
these
your
were
students?
all done by students.
Okay.
I have this project that's the Van Gogh Project.
Okay.
And so we studied Van Gogh, 19th century. Important artist, post-impressionist artist. But anyway, here's one that was done for a design class where the student had to recreate the Starry Night in ink, right?
Wow.
So that was actually a project, and then every year I have this. Every semester I have this as a student project where the students actually interpret the Starry Night, and these are just examples of that, and they're just wonderful.
Well, they're telling me we're out of time, but I do want to...
Let me show this one big one.
Please.
I just love this one.
If I had any talent whatsoever, I would love to do this. Listen, thank you so much for being with us today, and I want to have you back to talk about this further and to see more of the art that the students use, and maybe even some of your own.
Well, thank you.
We'll be right back.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
And we are back, and we have Mr. Reginald Davies here. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Now, you are our Director of Residence Life and Housing.
Correct.
Okay, what does that mean?
I'm student housing. We have coaching housing.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
you're in charge of of the housing
Housing
here.
part, yes,
So we have dorm rooms and we also have apartments.
yes, sir.
Okay, how many do we have, if you don't mind? Or we have one building that's dorms.
We have two buildings dorms, which is Thornton Hall and Elliott Hall.
Okay.
And then we have one set of apartments, and those are a set for female students.
Okay, and how many students can live in those apartments? Is it
In
4?
the apartment,
Uh-huh.
we have approximately 4 to each apartment. They come with 2 rooms and 2 bathrooms.
Okay.
We do have a few 1-bedroom apartments. So, yeah.
Okay. Now, with our dorms, the dorms are for 2 students each, right? The dorm rooms?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And then the apartments, as you said, 4. Now, if someone is interested in being in our dorms, or being, and you said the apartments are for females only, but being in the dorms, what do they need to do? What process do they need to go through?
All right, so right now we have a new online application that will just submit, they could just submit. What they would do is go to the school's website, meridiancc.edu, click on Eagle Life, and then go to housing. There on that page is a housing application button. When they click that, they have to go to sign in with student account, and that's when they will use their student ID and password to log in, to apply. When that's done, they can either call the business office and pay over the phone, or they could come to the business office and pay the $100 deposit that's required.
Okay, so they have to pay a $100 deposit, and then typically, about how much does it cost to live in the dorms or
Okay,
the
so
apartments?
approximately $2,400 for the apartments per semester, and approximately $2,350 for both dorms.
Okay. Now, what does that include? When we say, because the dorms, that includes their water, power.
So yeah, so like you said, for the dorms and the apartment, it's gonna include the water, the internet, the cable, everything,
Okay.
and also it comes with the meal plan, which is a 19-day meal, 19 meals. You get 3 meals Monday through Friday, and 2 meals Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, so it comes with all of that for $2,350 for the dorms and $2,400 for the apartments, approximately.
Correct.
And now, when someone is living in the dorms and when someone is living in the apartments, there are lists of do's and don'ts.
Right.
Okay, what are some of the don'ts?
All right. So one of the main don'ts is we're not allowing the opposite sex visitation.
Okay.
So that's really the main don'ts. Some of the other don'ts, we have quiet times for students that are studying, so we don't want you loitering in the parking lot, and and that's around 10, 11. No weapons, no alcohol, things
Just
like
the common
that.
sense stuff that
yes,
we
sir,
would
yeah,
we
right.
would expect.
Correct.
Now, do you typically the rooms? Do they typically have people come in and look at their rooms, or is that just a very occasional thing?
We have I have 3 housing supervisors,
Okay.
1 per each dorm and apartment. So they do schedule. They schedule room visits and room checks,
Okay.
and they typically know when it's coming. So they might know that, okay, building 1 has room checks on this week. So, and that's just to ensure safety and cleanliness and, those type things.
And there are some really, again, common sense things about, like, don't leave things unlocked.
Right.
Don't leave your stuff out.
Right.
Don't prop your doors open.
Right.
things like that. That
Yes.
When do they have to go through any kind of not training, but information sessions before they get into the dorms?
So we do have, we have RAs, and I just want to talk about that. We have
Okay.
RAs, residential assistants. Now they go through the more intense training because they're a step down from the housing supervisors, but
Okay.
they're students. But we do have a mandatory meeting that's going to be scheduled per each dorm and apartment, and it's just going to list the rules and regulations and everything.
Okay. Now, when can they move? Will they be able to move into the dorms for the fall? Do we know yet?
Okay, yes. So move-in day will be August the 12th and 13th.
Okay.
Yes.
So they can move in at any. And I've always been curious about this, but if there are times when MCC is closed, like a holiday that we have, maybe fall break or Thanksgiving, can they still stay in the dorms or do they have to leave?
So that's a good one. So typically the dorms are closed because no one is on campus.
Okay.
We do make accommodations for out of state and internationals, but if they come to us or come to me and let me know, hey, this is my situation, I would try my best to make any kind of accommodations I can for them.
Okay, so if they live like, their family's way far away, or they live, their family's overseas, we're trying to give them some kind of, we're not just going to kick them out.
Right. No,
They
no,
will
never.
they will have a place to stay, and they will have food.
Right, yeah.
Okay, and things to take care of.
We would never kick a student out no matter what.
Okay, excellent. How far in advance should students apply to get into the dorms or the apartments? Like say, okay, we're getting ready for fall.
Correct.
Soon. So when is about the right time to start thinking about dorms and start applying? And
I would say ASAP.
Okay.
The reason being, we are filling up fast. We do have a couple spots open,
Okay.
but ASAP, because once the spots are gone, they're gone.
okay, do we do a waiting list or anything?
We do. We do a waiting
But you still have to pay that $100 deposit.
Correct. And you do get that back if you don't get on,
Okay.
if you don't get a spot.
We're not going to keep that money.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, how long do they have to pay for the dorms or the apartments in full before they move in?
Okay, that's a good question also, because it's a new process this year.
Okay.
They are before move-ins, they are required to pay the full balance, and that's not just the dorms, that's tuition.
Okay,
And so they can either pay the full balance, or they have to set up a payment plan. I think it's through the EagleNet.
Okay.
I know if they have any questions, they could call the business office about that part, but so they are required to either pay a full balance or set up for a payment plan,
Okay.
which is going to take 25% out of your balance monthly.
Okay. Until it is completely paid off.
Correct.
Okay. And as far as the balances are concerned, or as far as can you use, if you're getting any kind of financial aid, can you use any of that for
Yes.
dorms or
Oh,
apartments?
yes,
So you
yes.
can? Okay. Very good. Okay, well listen, we're out of time, but I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you for
and I'm
having
going to
me.
have you back on. I'm going to give you plenty of time to get you. Okay? But I thank you, because I think you've given a lot of really good information.
Okay, thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
And we are back, and we have Miss Aisha Robertson here, and you are the Dual Education Coordinator for Meridian Community College.
Correct, I am.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you have been in this position. We were just talking about this.
For just a month. Good old month, just one.
Now, see, this is what I have to do to get guests. I have to grab them when they first get here.
Yes.
But How's everything going so far?
Everything is going great so far. I've been in contact with a lot of students, which I didn't think I would be over the summer, but I have been
Sure.
in contact with a lot of students, parents, and counselors, and just getting students ready for fall dual credit.
Well, I am going to say, and I say this every year, how infuriated I am that we're offering dual credit stuff. And where was this when I was in school 40 million years ago?
Well, it was available when I was in school.
So. Not me. But what exactly is our dual enrollment program, and when can students get into it?
So it's a really good program for students, for an opportunity for students to get ahead before they go into college as a high school student. Academic dual credit, we actually have 2 dual credit programs. We have academic dual credit, and then we have CTE dual credit. To be enrolled in academic dual credit, you have to be a junior or a senior in high school, have at least 14 credits, which that
14 high school credits.
High school credits, and that's something that the counselor helps with. Just because some students really don't know how many credits they have, but that's something that the counselor helps with. You have to have a minimum GPA of 3.0 or higher. And then, of course, we'll have to have like your transcripts and test scores. Now,
do we have to have? Will they have to have taken the ACT?
They do. That's part of the test scores.
Okay, pardon me.
Need.
Okay, yes. Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't clarify. It's either the ACT or the AccuPlacer test scores that we actually offer here at Meridian Community College.
And the first time they take it here, it's free.
Yes,
I believe,
and then
isn't
it's
it?
$10 after that. Yes.
Okay.
So that's a part of my job, is to help students get enrolled in those classes that they're on. So I am kind of, I say, the person between the student and the counselor and the parent that's just getting everybody on the same page as to what they need, how they need to get it to me, and then I am the one who actually registers the student. So the first process is to, and everything is listed on our website, but the first process is to apply to MCC, and then you get to choose what dual credit classes that you are wanting to take, and we have a list of those provided on our website. And after you choose that, you do a dual credit form, and that comes to me to that says, hey, this student is wanting to take dual credit. These are the classes they're wanting to take. From there, I reach out to the counselor and I get their transcript and their ACT test scores or any test scores that they have. And then I work along with admissions and I get them admitted, and then I'm in contact with the student from there to get them registered, making sure they're taking the right classes that they need. Because some of our classes do have prerequisite scores. So for example, like to take an English Comp 1, you have to have a 17 in the English portion of the ACT to be able to enroll in that specific class. So I'm the person, I'm advising, I'm just making sure they're taking the right classes, making sure they're not taking any classes they don't need, and getting them registered to start that program in the fall.
How many dual enrollment classes can they take per semester?
They can take 2 per semester, and the price is $50 per class.
That is unbelievable.
It
First
is,
off, let me just say,
So it differs though for our high school students and our homeschool students, and then our high school students that are outside of Lauderdale County. So if you are a high school student within Lauderdale County, it's $50 per class. If you are a homeschool student in Lauderdale County, it's $75 per class. Now, if you're outside of that, it's $150 because you're not in Lauderdale County School District.
So now if they are homeschooled, they still have to meet all of the criteria, but that's a little bit more where you're going to have to look at, you're going to be the one to have to look at what they've done so far,
not
making
the
sure they've
counselor.
got those, I think you said 14 credit hours first? So you're going to have to do a little bit more with that. Now, does that $50, now that's to take the class, they still have to purchase
just
books?
for the class, it doesn't include books, and we actually have some classes that have inclusive fee materials, and that is not part of that $50. So one of our classes, the inclusive materials, let's say, might be $100. So $100 in addition to the $50 class would be $150 total.
Are there any financial things, aid things available for dual enrollment?
They can't do financial aid only because the class is already credited.
Okay.
So low to $50 per class.
So they can take up to 2 per semester.
For the $50.
For the 50.
Now,
if they want to do more.
If they want to take more, they can, but after that, it's full price.
Okay. Okay.
So if let's just say, because you can do it every semester, you can do it fall, spring, and summer.
Okay.
So let's just say you start as a junior taking dual credit. You can take 2 classes in the fall, 2 classes in the spring, and 2 classes in the summer. Well, you've just taken 6 college credits, and some of
18
those you can also get high school credits for as well, and you've just knocked out 6 classes. And if you do that 2 years in a row, you've knocked out 12 classes going into your freshman year.
Oh, now I have actually known students here who, one in particular comes to mind, who graduated from high school, and I believe by the end of the summer graduated with a 2-year degree from here.
Now they can do that because you don't have to just take the 2 classes, you can take more.
take
So
more.
if you're an overachiever, you can take more. The only thing is, let's say you graduate high school and you have more than 30 credits under your belt already, you're gonna take yourself out of the running for any freshman scholarships that are available.
Really?
So you have to stay under a certain amount of credits to still be able to receive freshman scholarships.
I did not know that.
And that's from any university, I believe. Like, not just here, I think it's
Right.
also for other schools as well. Because
Okay.
after you receive so many credits, you're not classified as a freshman anymore. You're going to
Right.
be classified as a sophomore. So you're not going to be able to get those freshman credits.
They get you everywhere.
They do. It's always an underlining somewhere.
There's always something
But this
in
is,
the fine
it's really
print.
just a good start to get your foot in the door.
Sure.
And you're learning how to be a college student
Sure.
before you actually become one. And just getting ahead of the game. Now that's all for academic.
Right.
dual
Okay. So the
credit.
CTE.
CTE
what's
dual
that?
credit is different.
Okay.
So that's part of our career and technical education. So let's just say if some of our high school students may be enrolled in like allied health or welding or construction, something like that. CTE is actually open for sophomore, junior, and seniors, not just junior and seniors.
Okay.
The only difference with CTE is you already have to be enrolled in the program at your high school to be
Okay.
able to do it dual credit here.
Okay, okay.
And that's just so you're receiving the credit in high school and here as part of our career and technical programs.
What are the prereqs? You said that sophomores can, but what? So do they still have to undergo some type of?
Not necessarily. Those prereqs are a little bit different.
Okay.
It doesn't require all of the classes. It just depends on what career you're trying to go into, and most of those is just like based on test scores.
Okay.
To get in, it's not necessarily you have to have all of these classes,
Right.
or all of these credits or anything like that before you can get into that program. You just have to be in the program at your high school
Okay.
and have taken either the ACT or Acuplacer from most of the programs. But
Would the limit still be 2, or is there? Is
it's
that valid
still
with the
2.
CTE?
I believe it's still 2 with that
Okay.
one as
Okay.
well.
So if we have anyone who might be interested in dual enrollment or dual education, how can they get in touch with you?
They can reach me on my phone. My office phone is 601-581-3553, or they can also email me. My name is Aisha Robertson, and my email is arober15@meridiancc.edu.
Thank you so much for being here today.
You're
I'm going to
welcome.
have
Thank
you
you
on
for having
again.
me. I'll be glad to come.
Maybe after you've been here a year. Let's
Yes,
see how
instead of a
things-
month.
We'll be right back.
With so much uncertainty in our world, we are thankful for the heart and determination of those who have followed their calling in healthcare. They work tirelessly on the front lines every day to make a true difference in our community. At Meridian Community College, we take pride in training these heroes and are grateful for their service in this time of great need. These Eagles found their wings at Meridian Community College.
On behalf of our executive producer, Matt Milner, our media consultant, Josh Taylor, and me, thank you for watching. Hope you learned a little bit. See you next week.